It's raining.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo. Here comes the sun, I say it's alright.
Hey guys, it's Olivia here, and I'm subbing for Caroline today because she's at a horse show. I'll start with the questions. So Caroline, you asked, do you feel better in summer than in winter? You know, I can't really tell you. I mean, I had a really bad winter, 2009 to 2010, and then I got a little bit better last summer. Then this winter I've crashed again, and it's summer now, but I see no difference to how I am now to how I was in December. Because firstly, it ain't summer here. It's been raining non-stop for the last couple of weeks. It's freezing. We've had to have the heating on in our house, and we've had to put fires on, and I've had to go around in like jumpers and stuff because it's so cold, and it just won't stop raining and being thunderstorms, and the weather is just appalling. So it's not summer. It's apparently the worst June we've had for like hundreds of years. Emily, you were asking like, have we worked since getting ill and stuff? I haven't. Everybody seems to work and look after me. Lauren, do you have medicines that work for a few weeks and then stop? No. I've been finding lately, and I've always known this, but particularly in the last few weeks, I'm so chemically sensitive. The reactions I have are just ridiculous. And the only thing I can think of if you're saying that is if you get like, there are certain medicines you can become addicted to, like diazepam and things like anti-anxiety medications, and if you take them for like, you know, like every day for a few weeks, then it will stop working because your body adapts to it and it gets used to it, and therefore you keep having to up the dose, and then you get to the stage where you can't up it anymore for it to work, and therefore it stopped working because you're addicted to it. Rachel, do you believe in horoscopes? I don't not believe in them, but I don't work out my life depending on them. I don't read them often. If I have a magazine, I'll read the horoscopes, and yeah, but like I don't look at them every day or every week or anything. When I do look at them, I think, God, that's so true. You get a little bit spooked out, but other than that, no. Millie, do you have any quirky habits? It's funny the way Colleen answered that question, how you were saying how you're like go into ninja mode when you answer the front door. And I'm a bit like that too, because whenever the doorbell rings, our front door is glass, and it's not like stained glass or anything, it's see-through, so, you know, transparent, and we can see straight through it. It's not frosted or stained, and so if we're in the hall, the person at the door will see who it is. There's no getting away from it. And so I try and do these things like where I peer around the door to see, but they will always see you, so you just have to come out, and oh my goodness. But my quirky habits, I'm trying to think. Quirky. I'm quite a quirky person. I like random stuff. Like, look at my nails. They're all in this cracked effect. It's called Instant Nail Effects. It's a take on OPI Shatter. Nail talk. I can't really think of anything else. There's probably loads of things, to be honest, but I don't know, my brain is a bit tired. Colleen, your questions were, does sunburn flare your symptoms? Yes. Sun and me are just such a bad mix. Sunburn just gives me every symptom possible, which just puts me into a massive crash. And so I try not to go in the sun, but there is no sun at the moment, so woohoo! And do you get swelling in your lower extremities? No, I don't get like, they don't swell up. My feet and hands don't swell up, but, you know, they do go into peripheral shutdown, they do turn grey, black, blue, cold, hot, sweat, don't sweat. They go through that, but they don't swell up, so anyway. So that was all the questions. So I just had to go and get my dinner, but I am now back. A little bit out of breath because I may have just gone up the stairs, but let's just like breathe. Okay, so moving on to how I've been not very good lately. I've been a mess, to be honest. Health-wise, everything just seems to be in some super duper crash, which I don't really know the reason for. Like, I don't know, just there's no point going on about it. We all know what it's like to be bad. Just what I'm doing is I'm trying to just force myself to do stuff, because last week I went to, oh, my TV's on in the background, sorry about that. Last week I went to see my GP. I don't know if in America you call them GPs, like my family doctor. I've not seen her in a while. I went just to have a checkup, basically, to kind of catch up with, tell her what I've been doing lately, because I've seen so many doctors since I last saw her. So, yeah, and God, I'm really out. My heart's really fast right now after coming up the stairs. It's just beating away like. Breathe, Olivia. Anyway, so she printed out the letter from my last doctor, and I'm shocked. I've got a copy with it, and I didn't read it with her. I read it when I got home, and I'm shocked. I am gonna, here's my letter, NHS, and blah blah blah, and it came back. It says, in one of her tests, she has elevated methylhistidine levels. The latter are likely to be the consequence of products in her diet and do not reflect an underlying illness. However, we looked up what this means online, and it means it should be high if you eat a lot of red meat, and I don't eat red meat. I'm trying to just slow my heart rate down. It's just gone through the roof. It's so fast. It's been doing this all the time. Like, I'm just mid-sentence. I was with my neighbours last night, and I was mid-conversation, and then just suddenly boom, and you're there just like, and then I start to hyperventilate, and I'm like, just slow down. Anyway, on with this. So, we also looked up what else it could mean, and it could be an indication of muscle wastage, like that your muscles are wasting away. And that's quite shocking to me, really. I mean, it's not shocking. I lie in bed 23 out of 24 hours a day. But it was a bit of a kind of kick in the backside to say, Olivia, you've got to get yourself stronger. Because to be, young and pretty much told that your muscles are wasting away, it's not very good. So since then I've been trying to do as much as possible. I've been doing more exercising, and last night my heart was crazy fast, and I was lying in bed thinking, well, you know what, bed isn't doing me any good right now because it's still fast in bed. So I was just like, let's just go out. So I went to my neighbour's party. wasn't much of a party, it was just like a neighbour gathering. Anyway, back to this letter. I'm shocked with this doctor because it's, it's quite a long letter. I'm just going to read you this other point. Basically, I've talked about before in previous videos, I've been trying to get tested for mast cell activation disorder. And to get that test, you need your methylhistidine levels checked. The ones I had were histidine, and I want histamine. And my doctor said, yeah, I've tracked down the one place in Scotland you can do it. So I went in, I came and had the bloods, they got sent off in a taxi, and then the next week I went back for my results and he said, don't remember taking them. Then he couldn't read the difference between the results, like he couldn't tell the difference between a urine and a blood result, and then he told me that actually you can't get it tested for here. And then he said, actually, you know what? I don't believe in getting it tested anyway, even if you could get it tested, because I don't believe it's a condition, and to be honest, I don't even think POTS is a condition. And then he said, I was like, but how can you say that? I talk to so many people worldwide with it. And he's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's very bad if you talk to other people. It'll give you the wrong ideas of things. And I was there just like, well, I can't believe you're saying this to me. Anyway, in this letter to my GP, he said, I was going to test her for methylhistidine. And then it says, Dr. such and such, another doctor, suggested measuring plasma tryptase as a surrogate measure of mast cell disorder, but Olivia was not keen to give further blood samples today. Where does that come from? I was in at that appointment with both my parents, and he never told me I could get that test. And if he'd said I could get another test, he's taken 50 blood samples from me. I've never refused to give a blood sample, so I am so annoyed with this. I'm just so annoyed about it. And then he says, her family are still keen on the idea that she has it. I am less persuaded about this. And then he's written, she is on loratadine because of her hay fever. It's not because of my hay fever, it's to slow my heart rate down. Anyway, he says, I don't want to see her anymore. Because I can't help her, and I'm going to refer her on to a woman who has a slight POTS interest, who runs a syncope clinic quite near where I live. And I got to read the letter that he sent to her because my GP printed it for me. And in this letter, listen to this, just one statement I'm going to read. The diagnosis of POTS has been made on clinical grounds, Olivia having originally elected not to undergo tilt table testing. That's not true. I can't believe this is on my file. Again, I was with both my parents when I've seen this doctor. Tilt table test has never been an option that's been given to me because a previous cardiologist confirmed my diagnosis of POTS because he just monitored my heart rate on trace for a couple of weeks and on ECGs and stuff in hospital, and he said the tilt table was not needed because every time you stand up your heart rate is jumping up about 50 beats or to 100 beats a minute, and therefore you don't need it because it's a definite that you've got POTS. And the fact that this other doctor has written Olivia has refused to give blood samples and Olivia has refused to have tilt table tests makes me so annoyed. Words can't describe how annoyed I am. I would love to complain, but where's complaining going to get you? I mean, it's not going to get you anywhere, is it? Because the system is just so flawed. It just makes me really sad, to be honest. So that's enough of that. Other stuff that's been happening in my life is I've just been in a really bad phase and I've been dealing with a lot of family issues which I'm not going to talk about on YouTube for, privacy reasons. But it's been pretty bad lately, but I'm pushing myself onwards, and I keep getting all these invitations to go out to parties and go out to dinner with friends and stuff, and I keep arranging to do it, and then it gets to the time and I always have to call off, and I've not seen a school friend since December, and it's now June. I still see people, I'm not isolated or anything, but I've not seen anybody from school in a long time because they've all been doing exams. All their exams are finished now, and every time I arrange to meet up, I have to cancel. But I'm hoping that I'm gonna start getting stronger again. I don't know how when I feel this shit, but excuse my language. It's tough, but I will never give up, and I've just been doing I've taken up the guitar, that's fun, and I'm getting into web design. I'm designing a couple of websites for businesses, and I've got a couple of ideas as to what I want to do maybe later on in life, like a life plan of like businesses I want to own and stuff. I mean, it's just dreams, but hopefully one day I'll make my dreams come true. I'll see you all soon, or maybe not because I'm a sub, but I'll see you sometime, okay? Love you all lots.